You're becoming a nobody. I want you to think about the last time you walked through a crowded place, a mall, a school hallway, a busy street. Think about the hundreds of faces that passed you. How many of them do you remember? None of them. They were just shadows, background noise, blur in the corner of your eye. To you, those people didn't exist. They have no names, no stories, no impact on your life. They are, in every sense of the word, nobodies. Now, here is the question that should keep you awake at night. When people look at you, do they see the same thing? Are you just a background extra in everyone else's movie? Are you the person that people forget was even in the room 5 minutes after you leave? Are you the guy whose name people struggle to remember because you've never done, said, or built anything worth noting? We live in a world that is obsessed with being somebody, yet we are currently producing the largest generation of nobodies in human history. We are a generation of people who are physically present, but functionally invisible. We have zero skills, zero original thoughts, and zero, I don't even know, aura or whatever you want to call it. We're just consuming, scrolling, and waiting. You're sitting there thinking, not me, I'm different. But are you? Are you actually different? Or are you just a placeholder in the seat of your own life? Today, we're gonna talk about the slow, uncomfortable slide into irrelevance. We're gonna talk about why you're currently on track to be a nobody, and how to stop the rot before it becomes permanent. The first sign that you're becoming a nobody is your input to output ratio. In 2026, the average person is a professional consumer. You wake up and consume content. You eat food you didn't cook. You watch streamers play games you aren't playing. You listen to podcasts of people who have conversations you aren't having. You spend 10 hours taking things in and 0 hours putting anything out. You are a biological black hole. Everything goes in and nothing comes out. Think about the people you actually respect, the people you follow, the somebodies. What do they have in common? They create. They build businesses. They make music. They write code. They lift heavy weights. They lead teams. They are output driven. They leave a dent in the world every single day. When you spend your entire life as a consumer, you are effectively deleting yourself. You're telling the universe that you don't need to exist. You just need to be a pair of eyes for someone else's advertisement. You're a revenue stream for a billionaire, not a human being with a legacy. If you died tomorrow, the only thing that would change is that a few algorithms would lose some data. Your life came to a stop, but the world didn't feel a thing. That's the definition of a nobody. A nobody is someone whose absence doesn't leave a hole. A lot of you think that you're a somebody because you're a good person. You follow the rules, you don't cause trouble, you get decent grades, you're polite. You think that because you aren't a bad guy, that makes you a hero. But there's a massive difference between being disciplined and being harmless. Most of you aren't good guys, you're just weak. You don't break the rules because you're too scared of the consequences. You don't stand up for yourself because you're terrified of conflict. You're nice because you have no other choice. As corny as it sounds, you're a good boy because you don't have the teeth to be anyone else. Okay, that just came from the top of my head. In the real world, harmless is just another word for invisible. If you have no capacity for danger, if you have no edge, if you have no ability to say no and mean it, then your yes has zero value. People don't respect the nice guy. They use him. They walk over him to get to the person who actually has a spine. To be a somebody, you have to be formidable. You have to be someone that people have to take into account. You don't have to be a jerk, but you have to be significant. You have to have enough power, whether it be mental, physical, or financial, that your presence changes the temperature of a room. If you're just a polite shadow who never ruffles any feathers, don't be surprised when you wake up at 40 and realize nobody cared about what you had to say. We're living in the age of digital delusion. You think you're somebody because you have a following, or because you have 500 fans on social media, or because you're well known in a Discord server. You've spent so much time building a digital avatar that you've forgotten your physical self is a disaster. I see this all the time. Guys who are level 100 in a game but level 1 in real life. Guys who have clout in a comment section but can't look a stranger in the eye during a real conversation. Your digital self is a lie. It's a costume that you put on to hide the fact that your real world stats are 0. The internet has given us the ability to hallucinate success. You get a notification, you get a like, you get a GG in the chat, and your brain releases the same dopamine it would from getting a win in real life. You're getting tricked into feeling successful without actually achieving anything. But the delusion doesn't last. Eventually, you have to turn off the monitor. Eventually, you have to step outside, and when you do, you realize that none of that clout travels with you. To the guy at the gym, to the girl at the cafe, to the employer at the interview. You're just a nobody. You've spent your peak years building a sandcastle on a digital beach, and the tide is coming in. If your only wins are pixels on a screen, you aren't building a life. You're playing a simulation. The most terrifying part of becoming a nobody is how comfortable it feels. If you were being tortured every day, you'd fight back. But being a nobody doesn't hurt. It's warm. It's chill. It's 6 hours of gaming sessions followed by a pizza and a nap. It's a life of low-stakes comfort. But while you're chilling, you're building up time debt. Every day that you don't build a skill, every day that you don't push your limits, every day that you choose the easy path, you're taking a loan against your future. And trust me, the interest rate is 100%. You think you're young and you have forever. You don't. You have a very narrow window of time where your brain is plastic, your energy is high, and your responsibilities are low. That window is closing every single second. When you turn 20 or 30, the nobody status becomes permanent. People stop looking at you and seeing potential. They just see a grown man who never figured it out. They see a guy who has every opportunity in the world, unlimited information, unlimited tools, unlimited freedom, and used it to watch memes. There's nothing more pathetic than a 30-year-old nobody who is still talking about what he's going to do one day. At that point, the world isn't waiting for you anymore. The world has moved on. You're currently dying, not physically, but your potential is bleeding out. Every boring day you accept is a nail in the coffin of the man you were supposed to be. Now I want you to imagine that you're at a funeral. The room is quiet. There are only a few people in the pews. They're looking down at their phones, checking the time, wondering when the service will be over so they can go back to lunch. There's a casket in the front, and inside of that casket, it's you. The priest or the speaker gets up to say a few words, but as he stands there, he realizes there isn't much to say. He can't talk about the lives you changed, because you never helped anyone. He can't talk about the things you built, because you spent your time consuming. He can't talk about your fire or your passion, because you spent your life being safe and comfortable. He mumbles a few generic lines about how you were a nice guy, a quiet person. He says you will be missed, but even he knows that that's a lie. Within a week, your seat at the table will be filled. Within a month, your name will rarely be mentioned. Within a year, it will be as if you never existed at all. You didn't have a legacy. You left a void. That's the fate of a nobody. To be forgotten before the dirt even hits the coffin. But you're still breathing. You're still holding on. You're still holding the phone. You're still in the game. The nobody script is already written for you. If you do nothing, that's exactly who you will be. The path to irrelevance is the default setting in 2026. If you want to be somebody, you have to fight for it. You have to be willing to be the weirdo who works while others sleep. You have to be the jerk who says no to average fun so he can have an extraordinary life. You have to start producing more than you consume. You have to start being more dangerous than you are nice. You have to start treating your time like the lifeblood that it is. The world has enough shadows. We have enough nobodies. Wake up, then get up, and start building a name that is actually worth remembering. Now put your phone down, and go be somebody. I'll see you at the top, guys.